Hello lovelies! Today is the last day of our Royal Caribbean Grandeur of the Seas adventure. It is a day at sea. It's day 7, Friday, August 15th. So of course we are sad for our trip to be coming to an end, but we are excited to go home, get back into our normal routine, see our kitty cats, and just kind of get back into the swing of things, feeling much more relaxed and refreshed from this trip. So I'm going to share during my get ready today a little bit about our adventures at our last port yesterday in Key West, Florida, and a little bit of what's to come today. So come along with me and let's make up the rules. So starting out yesterday, we were coming for our last port excursion. It was our first port excursion here in the United States. The other ones had both been, or had all three been, over in the Bahamas. So as we were coming back, everyone that was on the ship had to do a check-in for immigration, and so they said even if you are not doing a port excursion or getting off the ship, everyone on board had to do this immigration check-in. And so I shared a little bit about it in our last video, because when I was filming the video, I actually stopped in between filming and we went and did our immigration check-in, and so I shared a little bit about that process. It was very easy. The entire staff made it incredibly easy. When we boarded the ship, they provided some paperwork, just a paper that explained what the process was going to be, and then they provided that again the day before we arrived in Key West, and they also announced it before the show in the Palladium Theater, and they shared some of that over the intercom. So there was definitely a lot of announcements on exactly what to do, where to go, and how to make that process as smooth as possible, both for the guests and the staff. So we really appreciated that they made that process very easy and very seamless for everybody. And so we went over yesterday morning to the Palladium Theater at 8:30, and we just went over and got together with the excursion groups. And so they split everybody up with their excursion group, and then we were in the group that was going to have an excursion later on in the day, and so we weren't heading straight off the ship after our immigration check-in. And so we were able to get with that group, and we went last because of course we were going off the ship later in the day than the other groups that were getting off right then. So they had everybody file out of the Palladium Theater and go over to the main dining room and do that check-in. It was very quick, very simple. We just had our driver's licenses checked just to ensure that we were U.S. citizens, and then we were able to get our SeaPass card punched with a hole so that they could determine that we had already done that immigration check-in. So it was very quick, very easy. Not a difficult process at all, and we were glad to just go ahead and get that done. And definitely they were saying that if you did not show up for it and didn't do the immigration process, you could be facing up to a $3,000 fine. So it was a really easy process, very easily avoidable for that fine. So definitely something that we made sure that we got done very quickly and timely in the morning yesterday. Now, once we were done with the immigration process, we were able to come back to our room for a little bit, finish kind of getting ready for the day, and then after that it was time for us to go out for our excursion. And the excursion that we chose for yesterday was a glass bottom boat tour. And so it was really easy. We just went out, and right off of the ship on the pier there was a little tent where we were able to go and do our check-in for the excursion. And then they had us sign some waivers on some iPads that they had. And once we got checked in, they gave us the option either to go ahead and walk ahead of the group and go to where the meeting place was for the boat, or we could wait until more people had arrived and we could walk over as a larger group. But we saw several people going ahead and walking ahead, and Dylan and I decided to do that as well. So they provided a little map, and it had a QR code on it that you could scan, and that would show you also digitally the location for the meeting place. And then they gave us verbal instructions as well. So we feel pretty confident getting over there. It was a little ways away. It had several different turns and some buildings that we had to go around. So we just kind of walked over, and the port right there in Key West is definitely a very touristy area, and so there were a lot of gift shops and restaurants and just little fun kind of places to pop in. So we had about half an hour from the time that we checked in until the time we needed to be over where the boat was. So we just kind of leisurely walked over, stopped in a couple of little shops, took some pictures and videos, and then just kind of made our way over there. And we ended up getting to where we thought the boat was going to be meeting, but it was a little early and the boat wasn't there yet. So we decided to go ahead and go over to a gift shop nearby because it was really hot yesterday. There was no breeze at all, and the sun was really hot and really intense. So we went over to the gift shop to try to just find a place to cool down and just soak up some AC for a few minutes. And we were glad we stopped in there. We ended up finding a cute little dolphin ornament. It's a little dolphin that has a Santa hat on, and we thought that'd be really cute after we had done the dolphin encounter on this trip. We have just a little fun Christmas tree that we put up every year in our dining room, so we'll be excited to be able to put that ornament on our Christmas tree in a couple of months when we put it up and get ready for Christmas. So we had a good time doing that and cooling off. And then once we were getting pretty close, we were about 5 or 6 minutes away from our meeting time. We were finished in the gift shop and decided to go ahead and step out and go over to the meeting place. But when we got out there wasn't a boat and there weren't really a lot of people. And so we were kind of looking around and trying to figure out where we needed to be. And we realized that we had kind of gone down a road a little too soon. We needed to go down the next road. So we had a few minutes, so we decided to go ahead and hurry over there to where the boat was going to be meeting. So we kind of went around a couple of buildings, and we found there was a place that had a big sign that said Glass Bottom Boat Tour. So, and there were a lot of people there, so we knew we were in the right place. And so we went and got in line to be able to get on the boat, and it was a couple minutes before our time, but pretty close to when we were supposed to be able to start getting on the boat and getting going for the tour. And we're not really sure why, but they were having some sort of delay while we were all standing out there and waiting in that line. And so the time for us to board kind of came and went, and we were all still standing there. And like I said, it was very, very intense heat. We had put some sunscreen on, but still it was pretty brutal out there. It was very hot, and we were all standing in direct sunlight. So like I said, I'm not really sure why there was a delay, but it was probably a good 5 or 10 minutes that we were waiting past the time that they told us to be there to be able to board the boat. So we were all getting pretty hot, and it was kind of hard to be out there. Thankfully they did have a cooler with some water in it that you could go and get. So Dylan grabbed us a cup of water that we could drink, and then we just kind of waited for the time to board the boat. And then eventually they finally came and gave us some instructions for boarding and where to sit on the boat. They had 2 levels on the boat. There was a top deck that was fully exposed that you could look out over the harbor as we were sailing. And then there was a bottom inside enclosed area where you could go, and that was where the glass bottom was. And then it also was, like I said, enclosed, so it had a little bit of air conditioning in there also. So I think probably most people, when we first got on the boat, went over and were trying to soak up some AC because we were all really hot by the time we got on. And so Dylan and I grabbed a couple of seats on the bottom part of the boat, and it definitely looked different than I thought that it would. I was thinking and just kind of imagining in my head that the glass bottom would be most of the floor in the boat, and maybe we would kind of sit in a square around it and be able to look down. But in reality, when we got on the boat, it was more like we kind of got in the middle of the area on the boat, and they just kind of had lines of benches, and then there were 2 glass bottoms that were on either side, and they actually were pretty far down. I think he said it went about 3 feet lower than where we were on the boat, so that it would be closer to the bottom of the sea, and we'd be able to see a little bit more that way. So it was definitely different. It was a very kind of small, narrow window on either side of the boat that we could kind of look down into, and so but we had to kind of get out of the seats and go and stand around it and be able to look down in there. So it was a little different than I had kind of imagined in my head, but it was still nice. It was they definitely had some really nice big clear windows that we could look through, so we were excited. They did say it would probably take about 20 or 30 minutes for us to kind of sail out far enough to be able to really see anything, which ended up being true. As we were going, the boat was going pretty fast, and so it was just kind of a solid kind of clear aqua blue color, and we couldn't really see much. Every once in a while you'd see something very quickly kind of flowing by, but there wasn't really anything very clear to look at. While we were sailing over to the area where we were going to be looking down through the glass bottom, they allowed us to be able to stand up and kind of walk around and move around the boat. So Dylan and I ended up going outside on the front part of the boat, and they had a couple of little areas where you could kind of walk out so that you were kind of above the water, kind of just hovering over the water. And so we went out there and got to stand out there for a couple minutes. That was a very popular spot, so we just kind of waited our turn for that and got a chance to stand up there, got a couple of pictures up there. It was really pretty. The water was beautiful, but like I said, the boat was moving very quickly and it was rocking a lot, so we were definitely having to hold on to the rails, make sure that we didn't fall over. And then also I was wearing a hat, so I was really holding on for dear life to my hat to make sure it didn't blow away as well. But it was really pretty out there. The water was very beautiful, very clear, and it was really cool to go up on that little just kind of overhang on the boat and be able to stand up there and look out, and there was just nothing in front of you but the water. It was just the closest we'd been really on a boat to the water, just to be able to see it just kind of uninhibited, just fully, just as it was. So it was really pretty out there. It felt really nice. The breeze was really nice, and we really enjoyed getting to go and do that. And like I said, there were a lot of people out there, so once we kind of had our turn, we were done and decided to go back inside. And like I said, they had AC inside, but of course there was, a lot of people and it was hot, so it wasn't the best air conditioning. We did end up realizing over on the wall they had a couple of air conditioning vents, so we just kind of hung out in front of those for a couple minutes and really cooled down. And thankfully we also, before the trip, had purchased some rechargeable fans for our room. They're really small, but they're cruise approved fans that we were able to bring, and Dylan had the idea to charge one of those and bring it with us when we went out for our excursion. So thankfully we had that, and I also had just a handheld fan that I was using. So thankfully we had a couple of things to help cool us down, because it was pretty toasty yesterday. And so we got back on the boat and just kind of rowed over and got some water that they had there on the boat as well, and just had a little time just to kind of cool down. And then after a few minutes, they started pulling up to the area with the reef that we were going to be looking at, and they actually had a tour guide there that was going to kind of talk to us about the different sea life, the different fish and coral and everything that was out there. So he was very knowledgeable. He was really interesting. So it was cool to hear a lot about what we were actually looking at when we were looking down there through the glass bottom of the boat. we were kind of hoping, of course, that we would see some really cool big animals, something like a turtle or a dolphin or maybe even a shark. Unfortunately, we didn't see anything like that. It was just kind of the coral reef and then the fish and the life that was there. It was still interesting. It was cool to see it. But as I mentioned, the boat was rocking a lot. It was very intense, and even the tour guide did let us know if you're starting to feel bad, it's probably because you're looking down into this kind of lowered down glass bottom boat or glass bottom of the boat and kind of seeing all of that, and so that can kind of make people feel a little queasy, and I definitely was feeling some of that. I was getting a little bit of seasickness out there. So after a little bit, I decided to just go ahead and go grab a seat and got some water and just went and kind of cooled down and just kind of tried to kind of just settle my stomach and everything. The tour guide, he said that if anyone was feeling a little queasy, that a good trick would be to look out at the horizon line, and that after a few minutes that usually kind of helps. And I did kind of try that, but the boat was rocking so hard that when I was looking out the window at the horizon line, the boat kept kind of going up in front of it, and really didn't help me a lot. So I ended up just kind of trying to just focus on just kind of where I was and just not really look out at the windows or really look out at anywhere that was rocking. And so eventually Dylan decided to come sit with me, and he just kind of sat beside me, and I was able to just kind of lean on his shoulder and close my eyes, and we did that for most of the rest of the boat ride. Thankfully, pretty soon after we went and sat down, it was time for us to start heading back to shore, and so I was very glad about that. And so we just kind of sat together. I kept my eyes closed and really just kind of rested, and Dylan held the fan for me and just kind of helped to cool me down while we were sitting there. So it was really nice just to sit with him and enjoy the boat ride that way, and that really made me feel a lot better doing that. So it was a little bit of a ways out into the ocean, and so it did take another maybe 20 or 30 minutes to get back. So definitely it was not for the faint of heart going out there, just trying to just kind of feel better when you weren't feeling all that great. So but thankfully we made it back to the shore, and by the time we got back, I'd kind of had a chance to just kind of settle, and I was feeling a lot better by the time we got back to the shore. So and I was very, very glad to get back off the boat. And definitely that was, out of our excursions that we had this week, that one was definitely my least favorite, probably just because I got sick, and also just because the tour was not exactly what I maybe kind of hoped for or imagined it to be. It was still good, and it was enjoyable and fun, and it was cool to get to see the ocean floor through the boat, through the glass on the bottom, but definitely it was not my favorite out of all of the things that we've gotten to do on this trip. But once we got off the boat, we were able to just kind of walk around the port a little bit more and go through some of the shops and the little mall that they had there. And so that was a lot of fun just to kind of get to walk through and see all of their little gift shops. They had a lot of art shops for local artists, so it was really neat to get to see all of that. Of course, just ocean life art is always really pretty and beautiful and vibrant, so we really enjoyed getting to walk through there. And we ended up finding one store that was kind of a specialty store for cat and dog items. And so while we were in there, we found a cute little turtle catnip toy, so we decided to grab that for our girls that are back home, and we're going to take that and give that to them tomorrow when we get back home, and let them have a toy to play with. So we think they'll really like that. And then also in the little mall that we were in, there was a cooking school, and it was kind of a little restaurant and cooking demonstration school. And so we went up there, and they had signage all over the store that said that they had some of the best key lime pie in Key West, and everybody has said that when you're in Key West, you've got to get key lime pie. It's something that they're really well known for. And so we decided that we wanted to try a slice. So we went up to the little cooking school. It was on the second floor of their little shop mall that they had. So we went up an escalator and went over there, and it was such a cute little shop and store and restaurant. And so they had kind of a little outer part where you went up and you could order your pie. They had just a couple of little tables there. And then when you went into the main larger room, it was really cool. They had a kind of 1950s kitchen that they were able to use for their teaching and their classes for their cooking school. And then it had a whole bunch of tables lined up so that any of the participants could watch up at the kitchen. And then they just had just a lot of cute decorations in there. It was just a really vibrant and cute room. They had a big chandelier on the ceiling that was made of pots and pans, just a lot of cooking items. And the lady that worked there, she told us when we were about to go in that room, she was like, "You've got to look at the pandelier." And so it was a chandelier made out of pans. We just thought that was really cute and really fun. So we really enjoyed getting to see that. It was beautiful in that room. So we took a lot of pictures and videos while we were in there and really just enjoyed being in there. And so of course while we were there, we also ordered a slice of the key lime pie to share. And so we just got one because we've eaten a lot on our trip, and we just weren't wanting to get one for ourselves, and so we got one to share. But we definitely afterward were kind of wishing we had one each. It was so good. It was just really just a sweet, delicious flavor. The graham cracker crust was so good and crumbly, and then it had about a mile high of whipped cream on top, so that really definitely helped to temper any of the tart flavor from the lime. And it was just such a good dessert. So definitely, if you are ever in Key West, Florida, you need to stop by their cooking school and get some of their key lime pie because it is delicious. So we really enjoyed getting to just kind of stop and cool down and enjoy a sweet dessert. We enjoyed being in that little shop, and then after that we just kind of were making our way back to the ship, and we ended up stopping by a couple of gift shops and got a couple of souvenirs. I got a cup and a cute little kind of table or desktop little kind of fidget toy paperweight kind of thing. It's got a little bit of blue liquid in it with some little flamingos that kind of float around when you turn it back and forth. And it says Key West on it. So I really like that. And then I ended up picking up a box of little key lime mints, and we tried a couple yesterday when we got back on the ship. They're interesting. They weren't as sweet as we were hoping. They have a little bit more of a tartness to them, but that was still kind of a fun little like souvenir to take back from Key West, Florida. So we just kind of went through those different little shops, just kind of made our way back to the ship. Like I said, it was very hot, and unfortunately there wasn't a lot of shade on the walk back, so we were pretty much in direct sunlight most of the time yesterday. So we were definitely glad to be back on the ship and able to get back into the just the cooler AC. That was definitely one of our favorite parts of every excursion this week, is when it was really hot outside and we've been outside for a while, getting back to the ship, and that moment when you are walking on the gangway onto the ship, they have the most crisp air conditioning blowing. So that was definitely something that we really enjoyed every day, just being able to walk back and just kind of have that relief getting back on the ship and enjoying that really cool air. So we definitely had a great time in Key West, but we were glad to also be getting back on the ship and just having a chance to cool down. And so we decided when we first got back on the ship that we wanted to go up to the solarium and go ahead and hop in the swimming pool just to cool off a little bit before we came back to the room and kind of took showers and got ready for the evening. And so we did that. That was our first time actually getting in the solarium pool on the trip, and it was really nice. The water was kind of under, they have a glass kind of dome over the pool. So it was still in the sunlight and the water was pretty warm. But it was still nice just to kind of get in the water and just kind of have that refreshing feeling. So we enjoyed getting to do that. And we only hung out in there maybe 15 or 20 minutes, something like that, just enough to just kind of cool off from the day. And definitely it helped a lot doing that. So we enjoyed getting in there. And then after that, we came back to our room and just kind of took showers, got ready for the evening. And once we were done in here, it was about time for our dinner. So we went ahead and went up to the main dining room again. And last night they were having a formal night. It was the second dress your best night for the trip. The other one was day 2. And then they were having royal night in the dining room. And so we were really excited for that one because that was going to be the night they were going to have lobster available. Everyone that comes on the ship on that night, you can get a lobster tail complimentary with your cruise. And then if you want an additional one, that comes at an additional charge. And so Dylan wanted to try that. He really likes shrimp and he really wanted to try that. I unfortunately was not as adventurous, so I didn't get my own, but I did try a bite of his. And it was really good. It kind of had a similar texture to shrimp, but it was maybe just a little bit of a lighter flavor. And but it did come with a little butter sauce, so we were able to kind of dip it in that, and that made it taste really good. Honestly, with the butter sauce, it kind of reminded me of movie theater popcorn a little bit, just that kind of liquid butter. But we both thought it was really good. Dylan really enjoyed it, so we definitely were really glad for that. He ordered the lobster. He also got a steak as well with it, so he kind of had a little bit of like a surf and turf kind of meal. And then I ordered the chicken marsala, which was really good. It was kind of a fried breaded chicken in a mushroom sauce with some mashed potatoes and some asparagus. And then I also got a cheese tortellini, and those were both really good, especially the cheese tortellini. It was delicious. It was very fresh and homemade tasting. The pasta was really good. So we both really enjoyed that meal and those entrees. And then for the appetizers, we both did get the French onion soup, which was something that we both had a couple of times already on the cruise. So we were glad to see that on the menu again, and just definitely really enjoyed getting to have that and savor that one more time on the trip. So that was really good. And then for our desserts, I got the chocolate cake, and it was really good. It was similar to the chocolate cake on the Italian night the night before. It was really thick and very rich, but it came with a couple of scoops of ice cream, just vanilla ice cream, so that was really good. And then I also got the Baked Alaska, which was essentially a Neapolitan ice cream with a sponge cake, and it had some meringue on it. So it was kind of a lot of different things all mixed together. I had never tried Baked Alaska, but that was actually my favorite dessert last night. It was really good. The different ice creams really complemented each other well. It had a strawberry sauce on the bottom of the plate, so that kind of added to the strawberry ice cream in the Neapolitan. The meringue was good. It kind of had a little bit of a granulated sugar in it, so that was really good. It kind of added an unexpected kind of crunch to it, and I definitely really enjoyed that one. And then Dylan ordered a sugar-free strawberry shortcake, so that was really good. It was really sweet and light, and it had a fresh strawberry on it, so that went really well with just the light cream and the cake. And then he also ordered a red velvet cake, which he really enjoyed it. It was definitely a little darker and richer than a typical red velvet cake that we've had before. Red velvet is not really my favorite dessert, so I took a bite of it. It wasn't really my favorite, but Dylan really likes red velvet and he enjoyed it a lot. So that was it was a great meal. It was really, really good. the Caribbean night and the Italian night, the 2 nights before last. The food was good, it just wasn't our favorite, so we were really glad to have another really good meal where all of the food was very, very well made, very delicious, and just a really, really excellent meal. So we were really glad for that, and we're definitely looking forward to our last night in the main dining room tonight. We've just really enjoyed pretty much every meal that we've had. Even the ones that weren't necessarily our favorites were still really good. So they do really well in their main dining room for dinner, and that's something that we have really enjoyed here on the Grandeur of the Seas this week. So we enjoyed our meal last night. We had a great time having that. And then after dinner, we went over and took some pictures with the professional photographers. And then we also went outside on one of the decks and just took some pictures out by the water as well. And then after that, we went over to the Palladium Theater, and it was almost time for the show for the evening. And they were having their Tango Buenos Aires show last night. And so they had different performers and singers and dancers out there that were going to be performing the tango and some other traditional songs. And so they it was a beautiful show. It was very very elegant, very classy, and Dylan and I really enjoyed just kind of cuddling up and getting to watch that show together. So we really had a great time last night, just going and seeing the show and just enjoying that time together. And then after the show, we kind of just popped around to a couple of different things they were having. We were both kind of tired, and we're thinking about just going back to our room. But we just decided to just kind of go check out a couple of different activities that they had going on, just to see if there was anything that appealed to us. And so we went to the Centrum area, and they were having a Battle of the Sexes activity, just kind of like a game show type activity where they selected some men and some women for 2 different groups, and they were doing a series of activities to see which team would win that battle. And so Dylan and I found a couple of seats that were kind of over off to the side. We were a little bit out of the Centrum area, so we weren't able to see really as well from where we were sitting. So it was a little bit hard for us to kind of keep up with and follow what was going on during the game. They did a couple of things, like they had like a little singing karaoke type battle where each person had to sing a different song. They had to sing a song that no one else had already sung, and they said it could be anything. It could be any kind of like nursery rhyme type song, any kind of pop culture type song. So that was kind of funny. They were all just having to within about 3 seconds they had to think of another song and sing just a little bit of it. So they kind of went through and were doing that. And then they had one of those activities where everybody in the group had to line up and hold hands with each other, and then they were given a hula hoop that they had to feed through the entire team. So that was really kind of funny because, you know, once they got going, you know, the guys were kind of struggling to get their hula hoop across their entire line, and then we looked over and the girls, the very first girl that started, she held the hula hoop, and then all of the other girls just kind of fed through, so they went through it really quickly. They weren't trying to pass the hula hoop on to anybody or trying to kind of feed it down the line. They just had the line go through the hula hoop while one person held it. So we thought they were really smart. They had a really good strategy, and that was kind of fun to watch. So they had just a couple of different activities. We ended up leaving before the end of it just because we couldn't really see very well, and we you know, just weren't really getting that into the activity, and so we ended up moving on. We saw also in the South Pacific Lounge, they were having a time for live music and dancing, so we were kind of curious about that, so we popped over there. The music was a little faster than what Dylan and I like to dance to. It was a little bit of kind of older music. I think they were doing something that was like an Oogie Boogie kind of song, so it was fun to kind of see some of the other people get up and dance with each other. There were a lot of women just kind of getting up there and having fun dancing with each other. So we enjoyed just kind of sitting and enjoying the music and just enjoying that time with other people. So we hung out in there for a couple of the songs, and then we were getting a little tired while we were sitting out there. So we decided to just go ahead and move on from there. And so we went up to the solarium where they have the park cafe, and so that's just kind of a little area that's got some snacks and some drinks, and we were going to get some water to take back to our room. And so while we were there, we ended up deciding to get a couple of little snacks. We got some pizza. I got a little portobello and provolone sandwich that was really good. And then we got a little peanut butter chocolate mousse. So we just kind of had a little snack, hung out up there. And while we were there, I looked over and there was a really cute little just kind of alcove type thing that had on the ceiling inside of it. It kind of looked like the stars, and it had some really pretty columns on it. And I was telling Dylan I wanted to try to get a picture there. And so we went over and we were trying to take a selfie with it, which was, you know, typically not the easiest thing to do when you're trying to get a really cute picture with something. And so we were struggling to do that, and while we were doing that, another couple came by and they saw us and they asked us if we wanted them to take our picture, and so we said yes. And so the girl in the couple got our camera and she was trying to take the picture, and she said it wasn't very good lighting, and so her boyfriend or husband or whoever was with her, he was going, oh, I can help with that. So he pulled his phone out and turned his flashlight on and was shining it on us. So they definitely went the extra mile to help us get a really cute picture there. So that was kind of a funny little encounter that we had while we were there. We offered to take their picture in the same spot too, and they let us do that. So we had a lot of fun just taking pictures with them, and that was just kind of a nice little time that we had. So we just had a nice time last night. It was very just kind of slow and relaxing, but we really enjoyed it. And then once we finished there, we just grabbed a little bit more water, came back to the room, and just kind of took showers and got ready for bed, and just kind of had a relaxing night in here. So we are ready getting ready for our last day here on the Grandeur of the Seas. We are a little sad for it to be over, but we are looking forward to one last day at sea, just a fun-filled day, hopefully a relaxing day as well. I think we'll probably try to just kind of find some time just to sit and not really go do a bunch of activities. So the first thing that we have going on today is we are going to a cupcake decorating class. So we are finishing up right now, getting ready for that, and then we'll just see what the rest of the day holds after that. So I'm gonna throw on some jewelry, I'll finish out my video, and then we're gonna go decorate some cupcakes. Thank you so much for watching this Chatty Get Ready With Me video for our last day of our cruise. I enjoyed getting to hang out with you, and I would love to hear more from you in the comments below. Have you ever been to Key West, Florida? Have you tried the key lime pie there? And what were your thoughts about that area? If you enjoyed this video, please give it a like, and if you'd like to see more tutorials for makeup and a little bit more about our cruise as we're finishing up tomorrow, then please hit the subscribe button and also hit that notification bell so you'll be notified when more videos have been posted. Until next time, let's be kind to each other, beautiful to ourselves, and never afraid to make up the rules.